I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay, we're live. Excuse me. Squeeze in here. Okay. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream panel discussion about social conscious entrepreneurship. I'm Kathleen Taylor with the Nevada Women's Business Center, and we are in partnership with the Nevada Hispanic Business Group, and they've been so gracious to allow us to live stream this panel here at their facility. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you two fantastic women that are really socially conscious within the community and how it relates to how their business and giving back to enhance the community and people within the community as well. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Rosalind Brooks.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for
Thank you for
being here.
having me.
Really appreciate that. And Miss Joyce Thomas. Joyce, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for both of you ladies for being
You're
here
welcome.
today. And I'd like to share with the audience some background about both of you. So with Rosalind, or would you prefer Roz?
Roz is fine.
Oh, okay then. So Roz Brooks is a former kindergarten teacher, and she is now a published health expert, farmer, certified wellness coach, motivational speaker, founder and director of a nonprofit, and author of several health books that will be coming out soon. One titled, Can Your Body Trust You? I find that quite intriguing. And also to provide an all-around holistic system of living, Roz also started the Las Vegas first public community garden 6 years ago. Also, her nonprofit organization, Together We Can, recently partnered with Transform for Destiny, teaching health in Ghana, Africa for 2 weeks, building two freshwater wells, and providing scholarships for 11 children in that region, and that's quite significant.
Yes.
Together We Can, with their Grow project, aims to grow food, grow health, and grow minds locally as well as globally. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Roz Brooks. Thank you so much. Also continuing, I'd like to also share with you some background information about Ms. Joyce Thomas as well. And Joyce, she received a BA degree from Northern Illinois University. She has 40 years of experience in sales and 32 years of experience in the insurance industry. She is also a fully licensed health, auto, property, life, and varied annuities agent within the insurance agency, and within the insurance industry, and she is also the owner of the Joyce Thomas Insurance Firm as well. And she's very community minded. She's lived here in Las Vegas since 1994, so you definitely know the Vegas community, and I'm sure you've been an intricate part of its influence and impact within it, both of you. And she is involved in several organizations whose purpose is to give to the greater community. So welcome, ladies. Thank you. So I'd like to basically open up this discussion with social entrepreneurship. And for those of you in the audience that are new to this concept, social conscious entrepreneurship, it really does involve enhancing your business infrastructure in order to give back to the community, but really at a very influential level. And I'd like to start with you, Roz, in your fantastic work with Vegas Roots Garden. And please tell us about that and how all that came about within your vision.
Well, I started Vegas Roots Community Garden in March of 2010, and it just started with a dirt lot and a vision. And actually, Joyce was with me from the very beginning, where it was just dirt and caliche and glass and rocks, And so I started it really just with the desire to bring healthy food and sustainability into the minority community. So we are right near Washington and Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And so zip code 89106 actually has the highest food insecurity rate of all the zip codes,
Wow.
which is roughly like 29%. And so the garden is just, imperative to be there. And it's really awesome now to be able to teach children exactly where their food is coming from.
Exactly.
We do health and wellness classes there. You can rent your own space. We teach you how to grow your own food. And we have a U-Pick farm where people can actually just come and pick and pay. So we have an outdoor produce department. So really, really is something special to have in our community.
Yes, definitely, and the sustainability aspect of it is incredible in addition to the economical
Yes.
aspect as well, and health too.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that's,
yes.
and I find it fascinating that you were inspired by your personal experience with health challenges within your family.
Yes.
And that, do you think that motivated you to have this vision to provide this type of high impact, socially conscious service to people in the community?
I'll say that it didn't impact me then as much as it does now.
Okay.
Now, even just the health of my family and just the health of people all around me is just, it's so prevalent now with the high rate of disease, the high rate of high blood pressure and diabetes and all of that. So now I feel even stronger that what I'm doing, I need to do it times 10 to really, really make more of an impact. So we started a mobile farmers market where we actually go out into the community.
Fantastic.
And we set up a farmers market. So we have the truck, we have tables, tents, we
Wow.
have the scale, the register, and we just bring all kinds of fruits and veggies. And so we go to the welfare offices, we go to low-income
Wonderful.
senior apartment complexes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we try to sell everything, super, super reasonable. So now I am, just being as creative as possible now, trying to find a way to get people to really grasp the concept of healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle despite what your culture is,
Sure.
despite what everybody around you is eating, and so it's going well, little by little.
Yes, step by step.
Yes.
And Joyce, could you share with the audience what's your journey been like in reference to having a socially conscious impact on the community with your body of work?
Okay, I've been in the insurance business for 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
And 32 years I've been in, well, just to give you the audience, I've been in it since Ronald Reagan was president.
Wow.
So I've seen the ebbs and flows and the changes. And so my whole thing now is I don't want to see people on the corners go fund me and with the needing to pick up monies to bury people.
Sure.
We need to plan better. We need to, and that's my whole thing is you need to plan better. You need to plant your seed. It
Right.
doesn't matter how big of a seed you plant. You need to plant your seed every time for when that time comes, and it is going to come.
Absolutely.
You'll be ready. You'll be ready for it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're young, you're old, how old you are. You just need to plant your seeds. And even to being socially conscious, I give you an example. Even when death comes, it's just so much paperwork. It's just so
It is.
It's just so much to do.
Yeah, and stress.
People don't realize what do you have to do that transition from life to death. How much paperwork and how much things it has to be done. And I just try to help people along the way. That okay, this is what we have to do. This is how we have to plan it. And it takes hours and hours of paperwork and just dealing with people on. And when they get sick. I'm an advocate for people who have sickness, and I don't want to. Sickness is something you can't advocate. You have to advocate for because when you're sick, you can't fill out a piece of paper
Right.
for your pension. You can't fill out a piece of paper to go to the doctor. You don't want to do the referrals. You don't want to make the phone calls. So I'm an advocate to help people to get them to the point that they can be whole on one side, but they can deal with the sickness on the other side.
Oh, very good. Now, I'd like to kind of explore that a little, in that it seems that both of you are trying to enhance life, in a different way, so to speak, where you're trying to enhance life in a socially conscious way through a healthy lifestyle that includes your diet, accessibility to fresh fruits and vegetables, and you're trying to enhance life by reducing the stress during that grief-filled period of dealing with someone passing away. And also, if a person's health is compromised in some way, sometimes they're not, cognitively aware and making major decisions that could impact them because their health is compromised. So it really is all about planning, I would say, planning to take steps in your progress and getting to that point of incorporating a healthy diet or healthy eating habits within your life, and getting beyond the taboo of talking about planning for the inevitable.
Right.
Because exactly. So I find that quite fascinating. And then they're friends too.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Roz that referred me to Joy, so this is fantastic. Really, really good synergy on both ends of the spectrum. So, in reference to like more towards like business infrastructure or from an entrepreneur perspective, what are some things that you've done in order to integrate the socially conscious aspects within your business from an entrepreneur standpoint?
Well, having a nonprofit, which our nonprofit is called Together We Can, and Together We Can runs Vegas Roots Community Garden. I also have a for-profit business called K&K Mobile Oil.
Okay.
And so we are actually an on-site oil and lube business where we go to your house or your job and change the oil in your car,
fantastic.
truck, fleet, van.
Wow.
But yeah, so I've had that for about 10 years. And so, one of the things that I try to teach people who are, because now everybody wants to start a nonprofit. Everybody wants to start a nonprofit, which is wonderful if there is a need for it,
Absolutely.
if you can impact in
Right.
some way. But, when it comes to loving what you do, when it comes to having a heart to serve, which is that, kind of social aspect that people will have, or they just want to serve the community, they want to give, they want to start a nonprofit so that they can help this group or that group. It's important to understand that a nonprofit is a business.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely a business.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how big your heart is and how much you want to do for people. You want to feed the homeless, you want to help teen moms. You have to be able to structure that business in a way, do it in a professional manner so that you can receive funds. If you get grant funds, you have to be able to manage those in a responsible way. So, it takes a lot. It's not just about that thing you love to do where you're serving sandwiches out of your trunk. When you take it to the next level, you have to have the education, the knowledge, the patience to be able to go to the next level, and so I encourage people, before you start a nonprofit, volunteer with a nonprofit that's doing what you want to get into doing. Because not all the time do we need a 10th X business, X nonprofit. Maybe you can work with a nonprofit who can grow because you're there, and it's always possible to write that person's salary into a grant or come up with the funds. But people want to kind of bypass all of the steps that it takes to really to learn and grow and work under somebody, kind of let somebody mentor you so that when you do start your nonprofit, when you do start your business, you have all the tools necessary. And so I find, I love now that I have the nonprofit and I've had it for 7 years, I just love the whole dynamics of it going from me being a volunteer and using all volunteers and just doing what I love in terms of teaching health to now turning the nonprofit into a business. We just recently got a $500,000
Wow.
USDA grant.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations.
Yes. And that's a whole nother level.
Definitely.
That's a whole nother level.
Yes.
And so
Government
that,
funding.
yes,
Gee,
yes.
That's huge.
That grant is to support families on SNAP. And so
Fantastic.
it gives a dollar for dollar match on fruits and vegetables. So if a person goes into the participating locations and spends $10 on SNAP, they get $10 free in fruits and veggies.
Wow.
For 2 years, they get free fruits and
Oh my
veggies for
goodness.
2 years.
That's
And
amazing.
that will go through my organization.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
so we're really excited. Thank you.
This is wonderful. Wonderful. So,
Joyce, what are your thoughts on some of the things that Roz was saying in reference to you have your own insurance firm, and there are people, at least I'm a former entrepreneur myself, and working at the Nevada Women's Business Center, I always advise people that when you want to open up your business, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit, that you have to make that decision. People usually make that decision based on three things. They base that decision based upon the fantasy of being an entrepreneur, of having all this free time and your own schedule and all this other good stuff, or the emotion, behind it. Maybe there is, something that happened within their circle that prompted them from an emotional standpoint to go into the nonprofit world to help troubled teens or something like that. And I always bring them back to the facts, because you have to make that decision based upon the facts, based upon the business research that you have to do to identify the need in the industry for this business concept. So given that, I'm pretty sure that you didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to open up an insurance firm. I'm pretty sure there was some type of process that went into that. So would you like to share that with us?
Thank you. It was. I had a wonderful job in Detroit. I mean, a wonderful job. Expense account, company car, all of that. But I found that I was in sales and I was selling. I'll give you an example. I sold Anderson's Dris Stands in Preparation H, and I sold over $300,000 of that in the county that I lived.
Wow.
And I didn't receive 10% in salary.
Wow.
That was back in
Wow.
that was back in the
Wow.
80s, and I
That's
said, well,
amazing.
that wasn't, and so there was no residual income on that. So I said, well, I don't, and then you had to be pressured to do what they wanted you to do when they wanted you to do it, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna try insurance sales.
Sure.
And I went into the insurance business, and it's not many females that could actually say 32 years in
I
this
agree.
3 decades of this business, and to have the stick and staying power.
Yes.
And you have to go with the ebbs and flows of the business. Right now, I'm at the twilight, not the twilight years, well, I'm at the Medicare years.
I understand.
So I've gone through sitting down at the kitchen table with somebody and said, okay, we need to buy life insurance. I've gone through the point where sit down with the business owner, we need to do this. So now I'm going through, I said, okay, I have all of these seniors here. Now I'm going through, okay, what about your health insurance? So I'm sitting down with that market, trying to get seniors to, make sure that they have the correct insurances that they need for their lifestyles. And it's also about building residual income.
Sure.
And you cannot build, in this insurance business, people go in it to build residual income. So when you've been in it as long as I have, and I've worked a lot of hours, and it's not you work 20 hours a week. No, I have worked 80 hours a week.
Easy. Sure.
Easy. I mean, for years and years and years, and tried every aspect of the business. So you have to find your niche in the business, because in the business, you find your niche. And once you find your niche, you just stay on it, you stay on top of it, you grow it, you feed it, you nurture it, and it will pay off for you.
So how do you hear from your customer base, or bases actually, because theoretically you're dealing with seniors, you may deal with business owners, you may deal with people that are the Medicaid or the twilight years, so to speak, and you may deal with generational as well, with youth to baby boomers to seniors, so to speak. So how do you change or influence rather someone's behavior from a conscious level so that they embrace that this is this change in my lifestyle to accommodate fruits and vegetables and also planning and pre-planning, so to speak. How do you shift someone's thinking or behavior, so to speak, to embrace that internal change that will then lead to an impact in the community?
Right. What I found is that it is literally just planting a seed. Because maybe when I sit with someone today, teach them, educate them, demonstrate, show, kind of hold their hand, they don't embrace it today. But they have that knowledge base.
Right.
Somebody else along the way, down the line, their doctor might say this, they may, and at some point the light bulb will come on for someone. And so I think I used to, when I'm talking or teaching someone, want them to get it right away. Like, I want you to do a 30-day cleanse, like, starting tomorrow, no meat, no this, no that, and really just try to, but everyone is not ready. Everyone is not ready to actually take that step to make those sacrifices and make those changes. And so now I have a whole lot more grace and a whole lot more patience, understanding that my role is to educate you with the knowledge that I have and with where you are, and that at some point I know God will bring that full circle, and when it's time, everything will come back to them and they'll be ready. Another thing that really kind of works with parents is when I implore them, you have to pass this knowledge down to your children. You have to make changes so that your kids can make the changes, because nobody else is going to teach them. And we have a generation now of youngsters that are really going to have a hard way to go, because the babies born now and even the 10 and 15-year-olds right now, they were born on fast food. They were born on sugar. They were, it didn't start when you were, in my generation, we ate really well and really healthy, and then when you get out of the house, you kind of go buck wild. But now they're starting that from day one. And so this is going to be a generation of kids who are going to have heart attacks sooner, they're going to die sooner, they're going to have diseases a whole lot sooner. There's people now that are having heart attacks at 32 and 42 and having aneurysms and all of that. And so, I try to let parents know you're doing two things with your children. You're either passing down life or you're passing down death. There's a reason that people will now say, oh, well, that runs in my family. I have high blood pressure because it runs in my family.
Right.
Well, that's because families are passing down death now.
Yes.
We're not passing down land or wealth or whatever. We're passing down diseases. I have it. My grandmother had it. So now you're going to have it. And it's become acceptable. And so when it's definitely the norm. It's definitely the norm. And so I want parents to know it starts in your kitchen. And make these changes, if not for you, make them for your children, because who else is going to teach them? How are they going to live to be, 80, 90 years old and go with, Joyce over here to be able to, sustain and live. And so, it's just patience. It's just standing our ground and knowing that I am where I'm supposed to be, and they will get the information from me, and I know at some point they'll use it.
So
how do you, let's just say that you want to go into the insurance industry, and just by however way that you're wired, you want to make more of an impact in the community than the average person, so to speak. So how do you figure out that in the insurance industry there's an opportunity for social entrepreneurship or socially conscious way to give back to the community? How do you formulate that? Is it creating a strategic plan? Is it creating a business plan that integrates that? Because still to this day, I find it very interesting that not everyone understands a social entrepreneurship business model. They're more for-profit or non-profit and charitable giving. It's beyond charitable giving. It really is like the lifestyle of your business.
Right.
So how do you go about that, both of you?
I like to give back whenever I can. I have met so many women, men, they're going into the insurance business. Well, I said, well, come on in, let's sit down and talk. So what's your marketing plan? What's your goals? What do you want to do? And I always tell people, you may start off in the insurance business. I started off at New York Life, but you don't always end up there. Because you cannot, at this days and times, you cannot stay in the same company, and that one company is a one-fit-all company. You can't do that. So you're going to have to get this company, that company, and this company. And so therefore you're going to have to be kind of like independent or work for a broker that has all these companies under it to make sure that you can help the person that's in front of you, because everybody is not ABC. Some is XYZ and some is MPR.
Right.
You know, so you have to really be able to have the tools in your arsenal to help each person that you're in front of. And also, each one reach one, each one teach one.
Very good.
I have taught a lot of people in this industry. I have taught, at one time I worked for the Las Vegas School of Insurance, and I taught people how to sell insurance.
Amazing.
You know, so you have to reach out. And then in that particular class, of course, we had a textbook, but I had to go beyond the textbook, because it's beyond whatever they're telling you in the textbook. It's beyond that. You have to teach people how to save money. You have to teach people the value of money. You have to teach people, Proverbs 13:33 says, a good man leaves his children's children an inheritance. Well, that goes back to the inheritance on the financial side.
Sure.
And also an inheritance on the health side.
Absolutely.
And that health side, it goes, I'm in a lot of kitchens. I mean, I'm in a lot of kitchens on a
Great.
daily basis.
Great.
And I see the things in their kitchen, and they start to talk about health. I have this blood pressure problem. I have this diabetes problem. I have this COPD. So what are you doing about it? How's your health? What are you eating? What are you eliminating? Yeah, I'm eliminating this. I'm eliminating. Well, then I'll always get an opportunity to talk about Vegas roots.
Yes, very
And
good.
talk about
Very
the garden.
good. Very
You
good.
need to go to the garden. You mean they sell fresh fruits and vegetables? And so some of my clients now call and say, can I get some green tomatoes? Can I get some tomatoes? Can I get some of this? Can I get some of that? And so I always just, I'm glad I have that in my arsenal just to pass that along, because health, you can't live in the fourth quarter of your life if you're not healthy.
Very good.
So I interpret, and getting back to something that Roz says, I've been through a couple of Roz classes, and you have to get it. Yes, I got it, but now I can teach it. I may not look it, but I can be able to teach it. I can be able to pass the information on to how to stop your diabetes at the kitchen table. So what are you doing about your blood pressure? We know that Black men, the further they are from Africa, the higher their blood pressure is. It's been a study done like that. So what are we doing to eliminate the blood pressure? Well, it's a lot of stress level.
Yeah, absolutely.
That goes along with Black men, and
Sure.
and men of color. So we have to, learn. They have to learn how to eliminate that stress, and a lot of times that stress comes with finances.
Oh, absolutely.
So they have to calm themselves with the finances and know it's okay to where you're at. You just have to step by step plan and move along.
Right. Plan and move along. I agree. Step by step.
Step by step.
So what are your thoughts, Roz, in reference to how do you integrate the social conscious aspect within your business infrastructure?
Well, now it's because the garden is now getting so much publicity and so much support, and so much is going on, that now I can reach out to businesses, I can reach out to organizations, because everyone now wants to have an attachment to doing something good for the community.
Yes.
There are socially, and if they're not socially conscious,
Mhm.
it's easy to kind of make that case, because if I'm shopping at a store, or if I'm getting my car fixed from a mechanic,
Mhm.
it's always a plus if that business, that organization, that store is doing something for the people that it serves around. It's not about take. It's about how do we exchange?
Right.
You know, how do I provide you with the service, you provide me with money, but how else do I, kind of give to the people in the community, to the people in need, to the people at impact. So I love the fact now that I'm in a position to be able to say, look, align yourself with Vegas Roots, because we're doing some amazing things in the community. And so now you're able to take a Zappos. I have a partnership with Zappos now, which has
Excellent.
really been awesome. And so the minority community, the Black community, is not their target market by any stretch. But now I'm able to say, aligning with us, you're indirectly serving a community that you never would have served before.
Sure.
You know?
Excellent.
And so it expands their reach. It
Sure.
expands what they're doing. They can put that, in their portfolio to say, we're also supporting zip codes 89106. And so social entrepreneurism now is easier now than ever,
Right.
because everyone
Sure.
wants to align with doing something good.
I
There's
agree.
so much devastation in the world going on all over. When you can partner with anything that gives a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of light, that is helping to impact this generation, the next generation, people want to ride that wave. And so now I can give them a wave to ride.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
And while riding the wave for both of you, you're enhancing the goodwill of a business partner or a resource partner, and also enhancing your own branding within the community
Yeah.
as well. And I find it fascinating how you can really capture the moment or the opportunity of partnering with a Zappos, or partnering with an MGM, or some other Fortune 500 company that isn't necessarily your core customer
Right.
base,
Yeah.
but through positioning yourself to introduce the socially conscious aspect of that, and how they benefit from that. I find it really fascinating
Yeah.
how it's a win-win for everyone, and especially the community as well.
Yeah.
So that's excellent.
And I think as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, it's really important to start thinking outside the box. It's
I agree.
really important to be ready to cross lines that you necessarily wouldn't have crossed age barriers, to cross color lines, to
Yes.
cross gender lines, to maybe I never anticipated even working with the transgender group, but just
Sure.
having an open mind
Sure.
and seeing what is it that I can do for you, and what is it that you can do for us. And so it's about that branding, as you just mentioned, to just serve everyone who's in need, but just being open to say, you know what, I wouldn't really sit in on that meeting, or I wouldn't, kind of serve that community, but I'm willing to do so. And that is, I think, kind of a struggle, especially for small businesses and, young entrepreneurs. It is, you want to work with that segment that you are most comfortable with.
Sure.
And generally it's people that look like you, But if you're going to grow, if you're really going to have an impact, if you really, really are going to serve someone outside of that little, microcosm that you created,
Right.
you've just got to expand and learn and be willing to embrace people that think differently, that are doing things in a way, that have a lifestyle that maybe you wouldn't have, chosen for yourself,
Sure.
but understanding that everyone's a human being, everyone
Absolutely.
deserves, all good things that are available here. So.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Joyce, how do you go about in ensuring that through the course of your extensive career. I mean, you have an extensive portfolio of work in the sales and insurance industry, where you've had to morph, so to speak, or evolve, in order to find that niche yourself. So what is your advice when someone is thinking about starting a business and they can do any and everything and they want to serve any and everyone? What is your advice in saying, hold up, pump the brakes, let's, take this step by step?
Best Magazine had an article in 1986, and it says payroll deduction is the aim of the future. It used to be everybody had to have a checking account. It came out your checking account. Now it's payroll deduction. And when I read that, I said, that means, because at that time I had been through the bounce checks, and I don't have enough money, and I don't have a checking account, and I don't have a credit card, and I don't have all of these things. I had been through all of that. So when I read that with Best Buy, I said, okay, so now I have to go through and find companies who want to, and people who want to buy products via payroll deduction. And I did that for a long, long time. And I found that if you come out your paycheck first, then you don't have to worry about having everything else. It's done. It's a done deal.
Right.
And even now, the seniors, everything comes out of their Social Security check. It's a done deal. They don't have to worry about it. It works like clockwork. And I have found that I get referral business.
That's the best kind.
I don't market a lot.
That's
like
even better.
I used to market,
Wow.
but I get referrals and referrals because I've been doing this for so long. Somebody said, well, I know somebody who can help you. I know somebody who can help you. I know somebody. And every day my phone is ringing. Of course, I go to my office and people come and just stop in the office. I need to stop and see you. I got this question for you. I got this question for you. And they will go past other people to ask me the question because they're going to get the straight answer.
Sure.
So I have found that you have to find your niche, and whatever your niche is, you have to read, you have to educate yourself, and you have to be open to say, just because you went with one company and that company's business model is that doesn't mean it's going to fit your lifestyle.
Very good.
Or the people, or your target market.
Right.
So you have to find out what your target market is, and it doesn't matter if it's small or big, because everybody cannot do the doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs.
Right.
There's so many of us. You have 3% of the people work boss and plan. 3% of the people just work boss and plan. Well, the other 87% of people just work, and they need help.
Right.
They need to be educated. And so you have to, I've done seminars after seminars after seminars. So you have to say, okay, what can I do to help the next person? And as long as you're helping the next person, then you're going to be fine.
Absolutely. And so I'm curious, because both of you are very service driven, so to speak, in serving others. So how are you socially conscious for yourself? Kind of like, how do you help yourself, and how do you practice what you preach? Because to your point with children and their diet, children do what they see, so or what they're exposed to in reference to. If you're going to have heavy fatty fried food on a day-to-day basis, and that's your norm, then that's what you're going to cook, and think that's the way it is. So so kind of like, how are you being your own socially conscious model?
Well, as much as I love serving and helping humanity, I don't love anybody more than myself.
Excellent.
And so I absolutely make myself a priority, because if there's no me, I can't help anybody.
Very
And
good.
I know that, like I have to be here in order to continue on with the mission that I feel that God gave me. So I keep my stress level extremely low, on a scale of 1 to 10. I think probably in the last 4 or 5 years, it's probably not gotten past a 2.
Fantastic.
Take care of, the household financially. We have very, very low debt, so I make sure that financially we are living within our means.
Sure.
We save a good amount of our income, so that we can have some money in the future. I have one day a week where it's a me day, where I don't
Fantastic.
do anything,
Fantastic.
and I may get a pedicure. I
Yes.
just, I don't do any work because it's just important that I take a step back and eliminate every part of the world and just really have that quiet time. We have date night, my husband and I, once
Wonderful.
a week, so
Wonderful.
we spend a lot of time working on our relationship. So it's like all of these, great things that I have built into my life just makes me a better wife and a better mother. I have two daughters, they're 24 and 26.
Wonderful.
And they are absolute mini-me's, eat well, they do yoga, they do meditation, they do but it's just like you said, they're looking and watching and they do what you do,
Yes.
and so I make sure that I am a good role model for not only myself, but for my husband and my children. I eat well, I do the juicing, I do, I swim and I run and I do all of this. And look, I don't want to do none of that.
Sure.
But we only have one body, and if I ruin it, I have nowhere else to
Oh, wow, well said, very profound.
live.
Joyce.
What are your pearls of wisdom?
I believe that if I am going to be judged by what I have helped others do, so I am a helpful person.
Yes.
You can call me, I am a helpful person. So I try to help along the way. I mean, I've had a lot of challenges in my life. I've been married 26 years. I've been with somebody who my husband had a kidney transplant. So I went through the
Wow.
whole advocate of, I know about near life, near death, having that transplant. I know about all of those things. So I
Yes.
can talk to people, I can go in the dialysis center and say, okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you get on a transplant list. This is how so as an advocate for people who want to get better, I can do those things. And so, yes, do I take the me time? I go to church. I praise the Lord. I give back. I give back to my kids. And I own my own home outright.
Excellent.
I had to get to that point.
Sure.
And it's my castle.
Uh-huh.
It's nowhere near somebody else's castle, but
I-
it's mine. It's bought, paid for,
Sure.
and it's a done deal. And that keeps your stress level down. My car is paid for.
Yes, it
I have
does.
an old truck that's paid for. So yes.
Right.
And so now you're in the building years because as I live longer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a little bit more money.
Good
So,
point.
so therefore, you have to be able to say, okay, this is what I do, and this is when I talk to other seniors. This is how I live, and this is what I do. And they say, oh, okay. The light goes off.
Right. Right.
I've been through challenges. Oh, you have? Yes, the light goes off. So, again, I'm an advocate for people who need help.
Yes, you are.
So that's
And
just.
and both of you practice what you preach. That's
Yes.
that's refreshing. And you live by your own word.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like. I find it quite interesting if someone is watching and maybe the thought occurs to them that, you know what, I want what she has. I want that, that me time, owning my own house outright, a vehicle outright, or having a spa day, a me day, and, a date day, and all these other good days. However, like you did allude to this, Joyce, that there's a big difference between wanting what you have and working towards getting that.
Right.
Okay? So, I thought this was a fascinating, conversation. So in closing, what's some advice that you would give someone to be socially conscious and also to get what they want from an entrepreneur's perspective?
So one piece of advice I have is to make a list of all the things that you do want out of this life. I try to tell people that you can't do everything at once. And what generally happens is that people want to do so much and they get stuck, and so they don't do anything.
Very good. This is true.
And so, I encourage people to have a list of all the things you do want to do understand that you can go and dig out of that list another project when the time is right. So it doesn't mean it's never going to happen, but you got to choose one. It's either, you can choose yourself. I'm going to work on me. I advocate for people to work on themselves before they can begin to start serving and helping and doing for others. Because if you don't have a well to draw from, you can't give to anybody else. If you're depleted, there's nothing that you can give because you're giving from a place of lack, and it's not going to last.
That's right.
I can't give you what I don't have. I can try, but over time, that's when the heart attacks come, the stress level, all of that. And so I encourage for people to make themselves the first priority. And so let's say I want to work on losing weight, or I want to work on getting healthy. I want to start my own business. I want to start a nonprofit. I want to start volunteering. I want to travel around the world. I'd love to go skydiving. I would love to, start a ministry. So you have all these things that you want to do, and you put it on paper, and you choose one. So if it's going to be, I want to start a business, well, the first thing you need to do, there's plenty of free resources like the SBA,
Yes.
SCORE. They have
Yes.
mentors that are free.
Absolutely.
But you learn what it takes to start a business. A business is not, you get a business license, get some cards, business cards, slap 2 magnets on the side of the vehicle, and hand out flyers.
Well said.
That's not a
Well
business.
said.
That's a hobby.
Yes.
And that's okay if
That's
you want a
okay.
hobby.
Right.
So understand what it is that you want. But if you really want a true business where you can contribute by hiring and contribute to the economy and the sustainability of others, then it is doing a short 2-page business plan. We're not in a day and age now that we have to do 30-page business plans like we've ever seen, unless you're going to get a $1 million loan from a bank. They're going to require that blood and your second born. But if it's just for yourself, to get a 2-page business plan and to just step by step do what it takes to do, get a mentor. You have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody in business.
Yes.
I encourage people to get a mentor and a coach in every area of their life, because if you've never done it, you can't do it.
Right. You don't have a point of reference.
And you want to shorten the learning curve. So shorten the learning curve means that, Kathleen, you have a $1 million business. My business is making $2. Can you show me how to get from step A to Z? You'll be able to say, okay, this is what I did this. Now that's information that it took you 20 years to get, but now I can get it in 6 months.
Right, exactly.
Because you're mentoring me. You're saying, Roz, this is what I did. It didn't work. Don't go that route.
Right.
Do this, do that. And so once you get one thing accomplished, once you're in the mix, you've got a little business going, you may be your own employee and got some volunteers or a couple of interns. Now it's about, okay, what can I take next from this list?
Right.
Maybe now it's going to be I'm working on my health, Maybe now it's going to be I'm, working on a ministry. And you just take one thing at a time, and you just don't have fear. I encourage people to
Be
just do it.
Just do it.
Before you know it, you're going to be dead.
Oh,
And time is not waiting for anyone.
Not
It
at all.
is just do it. And don't worry about the fear. Don't worry about if you want to help, if you want to serve, just do it. Because failure is okay.
It is okay. It's part of the learning
It's
experience.
part of the learning.
It's part of success.
It is. It
It really
is. There
is.
is not there is not one successful person that doesn't have 200 things that they failed at.
Right.
Because every single time you learn and you grow and you say, I'm not going to do that again, and I'm not going to do that again. And so not letting failure knock you out of the game.
Absolutely.
Using failure as just stepping stones. I'm stepping over that failure. I'm stepping over that. Before you know it, you're at the top.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So,
And you're at the top of
Your own fear, you've
yes.
conquered it, and you are on the journey of getting what you want.
Yes.
Yeah, as a result of your own effort and being open to your own growth and development,
Mhm.
and getting out of your own way
Yes.
throughout the process
Yes,
too.
yes.
So, in closing, what are some words of advice that you would like to share, Joyce?
I would like to say, have faith.
Yes.
Faith is the number one thing. If you don't have faith in yourself, first of all, you can't get over anything. And there's no such thing as faith and fear in the same sentence.
I
So if you
understand.
have faith, you have lack of fear.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
That's
So
okay.
I would say each time you take a step, you take another step. Well, you may take a step backwards, but just continue the forward motion.
The forward motion.
The
I agree.
Forward motion.
I agree.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
I think it's warm in here. And I would also like to say that faith, be fearless, and be diligent. Diligent to yourself, diligent to what you want to do. You know, Roz alluded, put everything down on a piece of paper of what you want to do and figure it out. I know people come to me all the time with multi-level marketing. And it sounds good, and I have to sit back and think, is it going to take me away from the goal that I have set for myself? So if it's going to take you away from your goal, because people will try to pull you this way, people will try to pull you that way, but if it's going to take you away from what you're doing, you have to be diligent and say, I'm going to run this race, and I'm going to run this race till I finish this race. And it's not maybe I won't finish first, maybe I won't finish second, maybe
Sure.
I'll just finish the race.
Exactly.
And so if you're finishing what you started and you're accomplishing what you started, you're doing well. I look at life like a football game. You have your first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Your first quarter is when you're young and you got all this zeal and you want to do these things. Your second quarter, you're building this family relationship and you're building what you want to do. You're building your career. And your third part of you, in your third quarter, now you've gone to the dugout. So now you're saying, okay, let me reevaluate this.
Right.
What is it that I really got to do here? So you reevaluating in the third quarter. So you get in that third quarter till you're about 65 years old. So from about 50 to 65, you're really trying to figure out what it is. You're saving the most money. You're planning for retirement. You're planning for those golden years. You're planning for college graduations and all those type of things. Then when you hit that fourth quarter, which is 65, you got to have your health in order.
Right.
You got to have your things in order.
Right.
In life to live the fullness of life, because that's when the fullness comes, because usually you're retired at that time.
Right.
You got more free time, you can do more things, and so and if your health is good, you're just going to have a ball. So I try to tell people, look at it like four quarters in a game, and what quarter are you in, and just keep your quarters going.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this has been such a delight in having both of you here for this live stream panel about social conscious entrepreneurship. And thank you so much, Roz, for being here, and thank you so much, Joyce, for being here. This was wonderful. And thank you so much for taking the time this evening to join us. And I'm Kathleen Taylor with the Nevada Women's Business Center. And I'd like to also thank the Nevada Hispanic Business Group for hosting us this evening. And Roz, if anyone would like to contact you, would you like to share your contact information?
Yes. Our website is vegasroots.org, and our office phone number is 702-636-4152. We're open 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, from about 9 to 2. We just started the community's first farmers market, and it's really, really amazing. We have food trucks and vendors and bouncy house and chickens running around.
Wonderful.
And so you're welcome to come out and join in that fun. That's every second and fourth Saturday of the month, so it will be this Saturday, and that's also from 9 to 2.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Please come out and support. And I think it's fantastic how you have a mobile farmers market. What an incredible concept. And Joyce, what is your contact information if people want to contact you?
I can be reached at joycethomasinsurance.com. My number is 702-522-0653. And my name is Joyful Joyce Thomas.
Oh, wonderful. And indeed, it's been a joyful time with you ladies today. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for your time this evening. If you have any questions, please give me a call, Kathleen Taylor, at the Nevada Women's Business Center at area code 702-734-3555. Thanks. Take care. Bye. Yay. This was fun. Thank you so much.
You have very wonderful questions.
Oh, well, you make it easy.